Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Welcome to Week in Wanderlust. I'm Urvashi, and over the last few weeks we've taken you across the length and breadth of this amazingly diverse country of ours. But I'm quite bummed to tell you that this is going to be our very last episode of the season. But because it's the last episode, we get to go out with a bang. So here I am in the very crowded and very hot city of Chennai, on the prowl once again to find you a spectacular weekend getaway. So let's go do our research.
The capital city of Tamil Nadu has always been the cultural hub of the south. Chennai is also the biggest industrial and commercial centre in southern India. But where do residents escape to when the big city life gets too much to handle?
The beauty of stepping out of Chennai is that there are so many places which are so easily accessible. There is Pondicherry or Puducherry, which is just a few hours away. Then there is Mahabalipuram. But what if just this once we actually leave the mainland and go island hopping?
A short flight out of Chennai and placed within the Bay of Bengal lies the archipelago, the Andaman Islands. Crystal clear blue seas and white sand beaches are a diverse paradise and a fast developing tourism destination.
Well, since our feet have been firmly planted on the ground for all our previous weekend jaunts, why not we go offshore this time around and discover the treasures under the sea? So let's book this trip online so that I can leave ASAP. Alright, so here we go. Booking on yatra.com is so easy. Now all I have to do is catch my flight. So let's go.
A little over an hour out of Chennai by air brings us the first glimpse of the beautiful Andaman Islands. Emerald green isles ringed by white sand beaches dot the deep blue sea, and we landed sooner than expected in the capital city, Port Blair. Port Blair has always been synonymous with its dreaded symbol of colonial tyranny, the cellular jail better known as Kala Pani.
Well, I've just landed in Port Blair, and this is one of the first few things you have to do when you come to the city. You have to come to the cellular jail, or Kala Pani, which stands as a mute witness to the many untold sufferings and the valiant defiance of the Indian freedom fighters against the barbaric British regime. All of this happened right behind these gates. The minute you walk in on the left, you will see the Swatantrata Jyot, which burns 24/7, and right next to that is the Martyrs' Column. This is dedicated, interestingly, to the freedom fighters who lost their lives during the First War of Independence in 1857. This is one of the 4 condemned cells where the prisoners who were given the death sentence were kept in their last few days. The idea was that it has an open view to the open gallows, and they could see what's coming for them next. On the day of the hanging, the prisoners were taken from these condemned cells and onto the white pedestal there where the last rites were performed and their last wish was asked for. After the white pedestal, the prisoners were finally taken here for the hangings, and 3 prisoners could be executed at the same time, and many a times that did happen. And there was no shed, there was no white walls. It was an open gallows for everyone to see. Get me out of here! I'm right now at the watchtower, the highest point of the jail, which controlled every movement inside the jail. The interesting part about the architecture is that this jail is made into a chakra or a star shape. The idea being that the front side of every part is facing the back side of the other part of the jail, so that there could be no interaction between the prisoners. Wow, that was quite heavy and macabre, I have to admit. And even though it's time for me to catch my ferry to Havelock, I'm very glad that I came here, because words like freedom and independence, these are not just words, and it didn't come easy for us. We need a reminder of that sometimes. Alright guys, it's finally time for me to catch my boat to Havelock, and actually I'm running a little late, so I'm gonna go.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Havelock Island is situated 57 kilometers north of Port Blair, and in recent years has become a popular destination for diving enthusiasts.
Okay guys, I finally arrived at the beautiful Munjo Resort, and joining me now is Linda, who's the biggest beach bum I've ever known, because she came to this island 14 years ago and hasn't still left. What happened, Linda?
Well, I met my husband in Bangalore, so that was back in 1998, and we lived there for a couple of years running a restaurant and everything, and I realized that I couldn't handle the busy city.
Yeah.
And so much traffic, and we decided that we needed to leave the city and go somewhere else. So we were, thinking of all the normal possibilities like Goa, Kerala, mountains, and then we settled on Andamans, as my husband had been here before.
Okay, so now that I'm here for the weekend. Yeah. What do you suggest I should do?
Well, it really depends on your disposition. If you want to keep moving, and you can do that. There's lots of beaches to see. There's activities like yoga, there's snorkeling, definitely swimming, of course, and just lounging by the beach is one of my favorites.
Yeah, you must have taken a PhD in it by now.
Take a book and then just relax, and even I find the best thing is to bring a group of people, hang out, relax, just enjoy not being in the city with the traffic.
And of course, a lot of people come here for diving.
Exactly. Yeah. Scuba diving is a number one choice in activities, because especially even if you don't know swimming, you can get put on the equipment. You have a guide, and they'll take you out, and you get the whole experience. So really, you shouldn't come to Andamans without going scuba diving. It's quite special.
So I'm going to take your word for it. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be all set for my diving course.
Yes.
Very excited, guys. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to get into the water and probably discover what's underwater for me. And for now, I have a clear agenda. I'm going to hit the sack, but it's going to be an early morning tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Guys, it's a beautiful day, which tells me everything's going to be all right as I head in for my first dive ever. Very excited, not nervous at all, but that's the man of the moment, Rizwan, who looks a little too young to know what he's doing, but I guess it's going to be all right. And I don't know, but I still have a feeling like I'm heading to the gallows. But let's go. Oh, Okay, so at least you know how to drive.
Rizwan and his truck took us to one of the most beautiful beaches I have ever seen to get kitted out for my first dive. The first step of the process is to learn the universal hand signals used underwater.
This is a signal to go up.
Okay,
Yeah. And that you enjoy the dive, you wanted to go more down, this is a signal to go down.
okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And if I ask you, are you okay? And you say this, then that means I will take you up straight away.
Okay.
Because okay means there's zero problem.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking you okay.
After our initial briefing, we got on a boat which would take us to our beginner's diving site. As we were being whisked seaward, I was dumbstruck by the beauty that so many of us don't even realize exists in our backyard.
Alright guys, this is the moment of truth. We are at this really beautiful spot. I can't believe it that I'm going to end my life here. But if that doesn't happen, I'll have Rizwan to thank. I have a couple of questions for you. We are at this really beautiful spot. This is the lighthouse. And what are we going to do apart from training? What do you call it? Discovery training?
Discovery dive or the try dives.
Okay.
In shallow water, give you the basic training, one-on-one holding you, and take you inside, show you around, take your photos and get back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Andaman is such a hot spot for diving. What does Andaman have to offer?
Andaman has to offer it's very remote over here. And secondly, the waters are very clear. On a bad day, we have 10 to 15 meter visibility. That is, you can see stuff in the water still. It's way bright. We have early morning. So early morning dives are nice. The fishes are also there. Yeah, we are impressed with the fish life over here and the coral life, which is the main thing we have over here.
Exactly.
And that we showcase it everywhere where we go. When you see underwater and the underwater shots come in, you will go and see it for yourself.
So what should I be expecting underwater today?
You'll be expecting a lot of small colorful fish, lots of Nemos, we call them the false clownfish, and the other anemone fish. One rock over here has a lot of baby fish and all the other sergeant majors and the damsels around there.
Wow.
So once we get in, we'll figure it out.
Okay. And any parameters eligible? Who's eligible? Who's
Eligible,
not?
yes. For the discovery dive, 12 years old is the minimum age.
Okay.
Yeah, but even before the kids of 9 and 8 to 9 years old, they can do a bubble maker till 4 meters. 12-year-old can go to 6 meters, and adults can go to 12 meters for this.
Alright, so we should head now, right?
Finally, we drop anchor, and it's time for Rizwan to put me through my paces. Even though I wasn't at my most confident, I decided to gather up all my courage and take the plunge. We started in the shallows where we saw nothing but sand. But as we got deeper, a large coral formation caught my eye. The coral seemed alive with hundreds of fish swimming in and out of it, and I realized that an entire universe exists under the surface that we haven't even begun to scratch. Though I was completely fascinated by the marine life I was seeing, my liquid courage was running out, and Rizwan brought me back to the surface.
Wow, that was amazing. Phew. I'm so sad to leave this place. It's so beautiful. Look at the colors. And this is nothing. You have to go underwater to see the colors there. Amazing. I feel like just wasting our lives living in the city.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Good morning, guys. After conquering my fear of the water yesterday with diving, today I'm going to take it a step further and go kayaking with Tanaz, who's the only female instructor on the island. So we're going to go into all the mangroves and all the little creeks, and like she puts it, it's going to be mad out there. So I guess let's go mad. Let's go? Cool. Here is your life jacket. Here.
With Tanaz's help, I took to kayaking like a fish to water, and we set off through the Havelock Harbour to the mangrove-lined coast. Mangroves grow in saline coastal sediment habitats in tropical and subtropical geographic areas. As we meander through the roots of these fascinating shrubs, Tanaz enlightens us about the science behind the beauty.
Basically, any tree that grows in water is a mangrove. Yeah, you have different species growing in rivers, different species growing in the salt water. Everything that we're looking at right now is all a saltwater variety. It's called rhizophora, which means red mangroves. It's a Latin word. It means red mangroves. Why? Because basically anything organic in the sea is fish food. So in order to protect itself from being eaten by fish, crabs, everything else, it secretes a chemical known as tannin. Yeah, and tannin has a reddish tinge to it.
Okay.
Okay, so this tannin is slightly bitter. It's not liked by the fish, and this is what it protects itself with.
Okay.
Now, the beautiful fact of these mangroves is that even though they grow in salt water, they don't drink salt water.
Then?
They drink fresh water.
And how do they get fresh water?
They filter out the salt and only take in fresh water. This process is known as reverse osmosis.
Yeah, right.
And these RO filters are only present in their roots. They're not present in their stems or in their branches. Actually, their stems and branches are pretty much salt intolerant.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's why their roots have to grow as high as the high tide line. As you can see, right up to the high tide line, there are roots. Yeah, even though the ground is so far beneath us. It just keeps growing until the high tide line. Wow. Even beneath the water, you can see this reddish color of the roots. Yeah, that's the tannin.
Okay, that's the tannin.
Yes.
And that's the one protecting them against the fish.
Another beautiful fact of these mangroves is you see these roots hanging down from their branches just ahead of you. There's one tree.
This one,
Yeah.
Like a banyan tree.
Absolutely, they hang down. These are called aerial roots, all right? And they breathe for them. They have pores in them which help them to breathe. Why? Because the soil is always inundated with water.
Can I touch them?
Yeah, and it's very difficult to get air out of water. Okay, so what they do, they grow a separate set of roots that comes down from their branches, which only take in air.
They have similar mangroves in Burma as well?
Yeah. Everything like mangroves are found between 25 degrees north and 25 degrees south.
Okay.
It's in the tropics.
Okay.
So I mean, there could be a lot of these species which have actually come from Burma. Yeah, no passport, no visa. Just come here and set up.
Nice.
Pretty cool, man.
Alright, well that was insane, and as mad as Tanaz promised us. Thank you so much, Tanaz.
My pleasure.
If yesterday was all about blue, then today was all about green. So much natural beauty in the Andamans. But for now, I'm gonna take some rest, change. My arms ache a little, and also, well, I'm a little wet here. My clothes are all wet, so I'm gonna change and see you right after. The moment I was dreading is finally here as we come to the end of our very last episode of Week in Wanderlust. But what a season it's been. We traveled to all different corners of this beautiful country, and it's such a treat to end it all here at this pristine location. This is, after all, India's best kept secret. I don't know what God was thinking when He created this piece of land, but I know that He was in a very happy and generous mood. So here's a shout out to all you nature lovers, all you thrill seekers, all you diving experts. Come here, enjoy the beauty, take care of the nature, and say a big thank you to God. So well, until we meet again, don't forget, not all those who wander are lost.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.